Hi, everyone. Welcome to a slightly different episode of What the Hall. So this week's episode, I want to talk you through my experience of going to the Renaissance concert and my journey of becoming a reformed Beyonce hater. Cue the music. Bam, bam, bam. All right. So as I mentioned at the top, I am or was a Beyonce hater. Now, it's important for me to just clarify this. I don't hate Beyonce. I'm just not invested in Beyonce. And I always was weirded out by the culture and the fandom around her, the hive. And that kind of tinted my opinion about the lady and her music, unfortunately. After having gone to the show, I realized she is one of the greatest musicians of our time, in the same category or standing as a Janet, a Michael, or even an Aretha, because I have thought about this deeply. And I think single ladies in 20 or 30 years time could potentially be the same canon as like R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Because if you think about it, that was a popular song when it came out. Aretha is one of the best singers to ever exist. And Beyonce, again, an incredible singer, very popular song. And I think it's going to resonate with people in decades to come in a more monumental sort of way. I don't know. That's just a thought. I grew up watching 106 in Park when it was AJ and Free. And of course, when AJ and Free were in tears and left the show, I stopped watching. So that's the kind of background in terms of my musical taste. Love Destiny's Child, was burning those CDs on a 56K connection back in my time. But of course, when she went solo, I was into it. I thought this is okay. The music is fun. Then she comes out with B-Day, incredible album, some of my favorite Beyonce songs. And then slowly but surely, I think as I got older, life happens and I just wasn't invested in new music the same way. I really leaned into house music. It was something that I always liked, but in particular in my 20s, I just kind of zeroed in. This is my taste of music and I don't care about anything else besides what Annie Mac plays on a Friday night. That was it. So a couple of things happened during quarantine time. I started listening to The Read more regularly, and Crystal and Kid Fury are like her biggest champions. Every single episode, it feels like they're reminding you of how great this lady is. But again, not interested, don't care. And then last summer, the album comes out. Life is opening up again. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. It's another Beyonce album. Who cares? This is for her fans. Coincidentally, one Friday, another house show that I listened to on YouTube and SoundCloud, they mixed Break My Soul into one of the sets. I was like, ooh, what is this? That's amazing. Is this what this lady is coming out with? I need to find out more. The album comes out and I didn't really listen to it properly until the end of last year at the beginning or like January, New Year time. And I was convinced from start to finish, the album is a skip because I hate that song, Cuff It. I think that is, I have missed a lot of really incredible concerts in my youth that were really monumental for no reason, but just really closing my eyes and not thinking about the fact that I may regret this down the line, because here I am and I regret not going to those shows. A prime example of this is when the Spice Girls had their first reunion. I wish I went, only because now looking back, Victoria Beckham has no interest in reuniting again. Okay, so I missed that. Then there was Daft Punk Alive 2007. And I think they had like this huge venue in Mississauga and they had the Triangle or the Pyramid. And, you know, that album is incredible. I think Swedish House Mafia came to Toronto once. I definitely missed Watch the Throne. And so once I realized how amazing this album was, I was like, okay, this lady's in her 40s now. She's got a family. What is the possibility that she does a Rihanna and just kind of steps away from the limelight for a couple of years just to kind of maybe spend more time with her young children in these years when they can really appreciate their mom? And so I was like, I can't afford to miss this. This is going to be the one time when I truly connect with her music. I need to go to this concert. Just my luck. One of my good friends was able to get concert tickets because she's more tapped in than I am. And because her sisters live in another country, I just kind of slid right in there and said, yes, I will go. Please and thank you. Absolutely. At one stage, I was like, I'm going to sell my organs in order to go to this concert, right? That's how committed I was to going to this. I am not missing out on any more monumental shows. People are going to die. Like celebrities, musicians, they die. So if there is something that you're really connecting with, try to find a way. At the time of recording this, I think there's still about 5 weeks left in the concert. So if you're going back and forth in your mind and TikTok and all the other social media stuff isn't convincing you enough, go to the show. It is life-changing. It's one hell of an experience. I sometimes pick up a British Vogue when they're in my line of sight. I did buy the July issue with the Beyonce cover, not because it's her, but because I like British Vogue. I like Edward's Vogue. And I have ordered the last September issue. And will I ever buy it again? I don't know. If it's Sarah Harris, I might. But if it's somebody else, I'm not too interested. When you're going through the spread, the Beyonce spread, it's all very glamorous, very intricate, very sultry. And so I knew immediately this is going to be one of those events that's going to be fashion leaning. It's going to be very much a fashion moment. Leading up to this concert, I was like, I'm going to not only buy really expensive concert tickets, I'm also going to starve myself for a killer outfit. Initially, I wanted to do a total Valentino PP. I wanted to replicate the Lewis Hamilton images. And so I ran to Saks. I found the pieces. They didn't have all the sizes, but I was like, okay, this is the year. This is the last time this PP stuff, you can bring it out because it's going to be over very soon. It's very, it's a shocking shade of pink, right? The color looks amazing on me, full stop. I love that color, but unfortunately, they're so weighty. I'm going to be sweating. I might even have like a heat stroke, watching this. So I couldn't risk my health and safety for the sake of fashion. And so the shoes were gone. I couldn't find the shoes anywhere. So the shoes are gone and the clothes are heavy. So it was like, this is telling you, Muhammad, don't do it. Just find something else to wear. Plan B was to dress like Tyler, the Creator. But then plan B didn't go to full effect when all of the things that I ordered came in spurts and were stuck in DHL in Italy. Like everything was just kerfuffled. So I had to kind of work with what I had. I got this shirt that came on time. I just kind of created an outfit and eventually I leaned into turning into like Amigo almost. That's the look that I went for. Sunglasses and all. My friend that I was going with, at least I had an idea of what I was doing. My friend had absolutely no idea what she was wearing. And fortunately, I had the day off. I did some personal shopping for her while she was getting her hair and makeup done. So I went to the Webster. The team at the Webster, I have to tell you, the girls there, so sweet, so charming, so gorgeous, so stylish. If you want inspiration, go to the Webster. So anyway, we landed on this one JPG dress. I'm going to pop up the image. This is British Vogue as well. There's a thing that came up this week with Ice Spice and she's wearing the pink version of it. Just coincidentally, once everything was done and we finally got ourselves together on our way to the show, ordered the lift, we look at each other and I was like, we're kind of matching. I labeled it category under the sea. What I'm getting at here is if you're going to go to the concert, go hard. Go all the way. It doesn't matter where you buy your garments from, whether it be PLT or if it's Saks. Just find something that really speaks to you and that you're really passionate about. Don't wear a sequin cowboy hats. Those sequin cowboy hats are the bane of my existence. It's the most derivative and it feels lazy to me. Yes, she wore a sequin cowboy hat in the album cover. You can do better. Some things that stood out to me that I was really impressed by. Of course, the music is incredible. I hate cuff it. We're just going to put that on the floor. I hate cuff it. I didn't want to dance, but two-step. The crowd at the show is incredible. It's the most varied, most interesting motley crew of people you'll ever see. Lots of pasties and mesh sequins, all kinds, all sorts of gender expressions, race, age. I saw one young man 7 feet tall, didn't look like a Beyonce fan, but he's there with his grown mother. Me and my friend were sat next to two women who couldn't be definitely could have been our aunts, our cool aunts who were at the Beyonce show. And they were loving life. The one lady was fanning me, yaga, 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 yaga. She was, it was such a good mix of people, so positive. And looking back at the information and the stats from the show, yes, the Rogers Center, there was 76,500 people there. both nights. Leaving was a disaster. We had to walk several blocks. We walked all the way from Rogers to Queen and Spadina just to get curved and swerved by all sorts of Beck cabs, yellow cabs. It was a disaster. So really plan your exit just as thoroughly as you plan your arrival to this concert. It's very important you do so. Another observation that I think would be useful to some of you who are going in the next 5 weeks, if you can afford to upgrade your tickets, you will have a better time. The Toronto was 2 nights. I was there on the Sunday. A couple of my friends went on the Saturday. Another one of my friends went on the Sunday as well, but was seated somewhere else. And my friends who went on the Saturday said very clearly, they don't regret that they have the seats in the nosebleeds, but they said they would have happily paid the extra money to be closer and to have a better view. The closer you are, the more fun it is. Also, if you're going to record, make sure you shut the fuck up whilst you're recording. In the opening monologue where she's like, thank you, I'm in the background just like, okay, like an asshole, just shut up. Your friends don't want to hear you. They want to hear you. I think no matter how far you are away from the stage, the performance, the visuals are some of the most mind-blowing and most, oh yeah, this is the one. This is the one. And of course, me in the background, okay. I'm so annoying. Like, what does it say? I almost like fell into the visual where the leads with the open lights. I was like hypnotized, and the beat, I was just like beef. I was loving it. It was so good. Also interesting, and I don't know where I'm going to find this information. One of the earliest things that I picked up on was she worked with a lot of different people. So like, what's her name? Sid from Internet or Odd Future wrote Sofa. There's a lot of different collaborators that she had, but one of the people that stuck out to me was Hane Dijon, who is one of like the early people in the house scene. I think she's from Chicago. I've listened to her talk, and she speaks about being in the warehouses, in the venues when the music was created. Possibly Detroit, but I think she's from Chicago. Anyway, listening to this particular interlude, it feels like her fingerprints are all over this, like the beat. There was also a segment where it was like, in the beginning, there was and I'm in the background just screaming. Oh, it's so hypnotic. It's so enchanting. It's so, you levitate after you go to this show. Your life is that much better just by being at this concert. Another thing, when the horse came out, the CGI horse, I truly thought it was real. I was so like disoriented. I was like, is that actually like a sculpture of the sequined horse? No, it was CGI, but it really threw me off. The visuals are just incredible. And again, also as somebody who's missed out a lot of her music, there's a lot of best of happening at the show. So you'll hear bits of old music interspersed. And I was like, what is this song? Oh, that's a great song. Oh, that's amazing. And subsequently in the DMs, I was talking to one of my friends who was at the Saturday show, who gave me homework and gave me this laundry list of different concerts and the documentaries. Watch Homecoming last. Make sure you watch Black is King. Watch this concert. Because I'm realizing, she truly is an amazing artist. There's a lot of art references and things. And I was starting to piece things together. So for example, when she comes out and she's tip, 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 I was like, is this again another Metropolis Maria the Robot, or is this more so, what's his name? Hajime Sorayama, the man who does the sexy lady robots, because she had the antennas on the ear. So I was like, this is very fucking cool. Sofa is not a favorite of mine, but I like it. And in particular, that 20 or 30 second wedge between Sofa going into Virgo, whereas the snaps and the bass, I love that transition. But when she comes out during the Sofa segment, it's Botticelli's Venus, because not only is she in the seashell with the flowing hair, but if you look at the positioning on the hands of that Loewe bodysuit, it's the exact same posturing as the Venus artistry. I was like, oh, look at me being clever and finding the art references. I was so impressed with myself. And this, I'm sure in this Wikipedia, I haven't read all the notes, but I think they do talk about all the references. It is such a feast for the eyes. It is so incredible. In particular for the Toronto show, I don't know if this is touring in other parts of the world. There was a Balmain exhibition where not only were they selling the branded merch, they also had an exhibition of some of the Balmain outfits. And so I'm just going to pop up some of the images and show you some of the things that I captured. I did have the Monday off, and I was able to just kind of make a beeline into the store and just casually walk through. And I had the fortune of talking to somebody in the queue who went to the show on the Saturday. And I was like, oh, it was so good. How good was it? How much did you love it? Where were you seated? And he says to me, oh, I was in the Club Renaissance. I'm like, did you even get to, and he showed me one of his videos. He was like an arm's length away from her. She was in full 4K right there. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Spending all that money really makes the experience that much richer. If you can find it within your means to spend as much as possible to go to the show, do it. So just going through some of the outfits from the Rusting Balmain exhibition, the cozy outfit with the is it ostrich feathers or peacock? This was pretty cool. I love the feathered look. There wasn't any other outfits that I was particularly enamored by. I think she had better outfits in other parts of the world. There was one show where she did wear a sequin Valentino PP. This also brings up the stylist, right? So Shayona T or Shania T, I don't know which way it's meant to be said. She is an incredible stylist. I knew her from just being on Instagram. She has a big account. She was instrumental in dressing everyone on Insecure. One of the standout moments in terms of the looks from Insecure was the wedding outfits when the bridesmaids were all in red Valentino. And the way that she dressed the men on that show, wow, I love her and what she does. The Alien Superstar one was pretty exceptional, very architectural. When you see it in person, it's just glistening and glittering in your eyes. It's stunning. It's a real feast for the eyes. I'm not a Balmain person. I just don't. Absolutely not. But, this is costume, right? This is costume. This is stage outfits. But overall, I just don't like Balmain with the exception of the Evian stuff. And then the thick one with the chandelier. I thought this was pretty cool as well. The Summer Renaissance, I think whatever the Valentino Summer Renaissance outfit was way better. And of all the Queen Bee outfits, I think not so much the Mugler one, but the Marie Catranzu, with the exception of the hat. I didn't like the Marie hat. Those are my thoughts. Those are my takeaway. I was more enamored by the fashion and the visual presentation of the show. I was always just indifferent towards Beyonce and her music. I was like, okay, she peaked for me, and I lost interest after the Destiny's Child era and Kitty Cat. That was as much interest as I had in Beyonce. But after going to that show, I realized, you know what? This lady's amazing. She is very talented, and and also all the discourse about she's not dancing hard enough. Can you dance any better? This lady's in her 40s now, right? She's not Janet. Janet is a whole nother level of skill and talent. But Beyonce, she dances, and if she doesn't feel like dancing, she doesn't have to. Because at the end of the day, this lady came out with an earth-shattering album at the right time. And it's going to live on. Oh, and also, last part. And this is the thing that I've realized as well as somebody who is a house music aficionado. I believe I Feel Love by Donna Summer might be either the first disco or possibly the first house record. I don't know which one of the two. It's a very seminal piece of music. It's the type of music that should never be remixed or covered, with the exception of Beyonce. Summer Renaissance is an incredible reworking of a seminal piece of music and giving it a new lease of life that you couldn't imagine was possible. And it doesn't denigrate or dismiss the importance of that piece of music. It just kind of complements it in the best possible way. And that's the type of stuff when I'm realizing, okay, she's that girl. Truly, she is that girl. Blue didn't come to Toronto. I wish she came to Toronto, but I've been talking for a long time. I've spoken enough, and I need to revise this and make this more coherent. I just wanted to treat this as more of like a fashion conversation, a cultural moment conversation, and Beyonce is that girl. Yeah, truly, she is that girl. The lighting today, I'm going to make 2 more videos. This is Editing Muhammad, and I forgot to mention this. While you're watching the show, the crew's presence on the stage is very visible. And so I suspect that there's going to be some sort of documentary. I suspect that that's probably what we're going to get, is probably something like Homecoming, showing the rehearsal process. Maybe we're going to get just a video of
the concert. There's lots of people who have documented the entire show. In particular, somebody filmed the Saturday night in Toronto, and shout out to that person because the film quality, everything is so razor sharp, and you get the full stage. That person nailed it. The people in, I think, the Netherlands, theirs was during the daytime. I would encourage you to watch the concerts back, because sometimes when I'm doing things around the house and I put the concert on, I experience a kernel of the joy and the happiness that I experienced at the concert, but nothing replaces that. So definitely, if you've been, or if you're thinking about it, don't engage with any of the content on social media. Try to avoid it as best as you can. You want to go there, fresh eyes. Don't look at the set list. Just go and be impressed. Yeah, just go and be impressed. So, in any event, this is what the haul. If you didn't catch it from the intro, this is a skincare conversation. That's what I do here mostly, but I'm trying to branch out, do other things, talk about other topics, because, we're all multidimensional people. We have varied interests. And this just happened to be an event from this year. So I want to share that with you. So stick around if you want to listen to some more skincare conversations. Thumbs up, thumbs down, do whatever you feel in your heart. Leave a comment if you have some interesting observations, because I'm interested in picking apart what was going on. I probably missed a lot of things because I was just too into the music, having too much fun, two-stepping the whole night, breaking sweats. Thank you for listening. Thank me for speaking. Adios.